All right, so you have started looking at the rock fossil group presentation that you'll be working on with a partner. And you'll have noticed that you have 9 slides. For each slide, you have a topic up at the top that you will be responsible for explaining. And in this square where it says answer, okay? And so what I want to do in this video is talk about what are the expectations around your writing that I want to see go in this square. And so you've been given this document called Tea Party. And basically what it is it's a rubric that our science department put together that is going to score your writing based on how well it addresses these 3 main areas: thesis statement, evidence, and application. So let's talk about what this rubric is really. You've seen rubrics before. You have the different categories of what you're being scored on along the side here, and then along the top you'll have the score, right? So like usually you may have seen 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 is the least, 4 is the most, and you want to shoot for 4. Well, in this case, exceeds is the best, right? And most people aren't going to get exceeds because that's really, really passing expectations. Meets, you're touching on all parts of the questions, and you're doing a pretty good job. You're just not maybe putting that extra degree of effort to get exceeds. Developing is okay. You're starting to get the idea, but you're missing some things. Some things are a little bit hazy still or undeveloped. Not yet. You know, you're trying. That's clear. But you're in a place where you still need to go and revisit some of those resources, learn the material a little bit better, and then also think about ways you could improve your communication of your ideas. Okay, so let's look at these categories that you'll be scored on. You'll notice there's a percentage right next to these. That means that say the project is 20 points, or say each slide is worth 10 points. Of those 10 points, 5% will be based on this, how well you execute the thesis statement. 30% will be based on how well you execute including direct evidence. 20% will be using indirect evidence. And then 35, which is the most, is your ability to analyze or essentially say why. Why is this important? And then conventions, right? Like, is it well presented? That's 10%. Okay? We're going to go over the exceeds column so that you can understand what exemplary score. Now again, we're thinking back to how we are going to be filling in the information here specifically, okay? A thesis statement means the writer creatively restates the question. So describe the different types of fossilization. You're going to rephrase that in a way that is interesting, well-crafted, and sets the stage for the rest of the information that you'll present in this square. Direct evidence. Again, E stands for evidence. The writer makes appropriate and meaningful connections from 3 or more sources with correct citations. So when you talk about the different types of fossilization, you will have cited 3 or more sources correctly, and those are meaningful examples of evidence, right? Indirect is 20%, and this is evidence that, you know, maybe you're making connection to things you've learned in the past or life experiences that you've had. So it's not like direct in the sense that you have a graph or an article that you can cite. This is more, you know, maybe we talked about it in a lab in passing, and you can refer back to a conversation we had, right? But again, this is going to be appropriate and meaningful. It powerfully illustrates the topic you're talking about. Now, for analyze, 35%, the writer expresses critical thinking through relevant and meaningful application to the question. So you're applying this topic to larger world ramifications. An example for this one could be you're talking about maybe somebody who needs to understand the different types of fossilization in their career. Conventions, writing is nearly error-free, right? So you guys by now essentially know that you need to have good spelling, you need to have correct punctuation. Those things, if it's good, if it's there, if it's nearly error-free, then you're going to be able to have that 10%. As you make mistakes, you're going to go lower on that scoring rubric. Okay, so this is our Tea Party rubric that we've built for the science department for the type of writing we expect to see. And this is how your writing here will be scored. So as you write this, refer to this Tea Party rubric and make sure that you're touching on all these categories well, as described in the exceeds column. Okay? Good luck, and you know to ask me if you have any questions along the way.